Can you define microaggressions for us?
Microaggressions, it's like a perceived act of racism. I just call it macro sensitivity. That you know,
Okay.
I just call it macro sensitivity. That you know, she's sensitive about everything. You know that's what it is. You know, she looked at me and she touched my hair, therefore she's a racist. You know that. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
the perception that, or the microaggression being the idea that I would know, you know, when a racist act is occurring, and they're so small, that's such a minute action that it's micro, but it's also seen as an aggressive act because that person, the white person who's doing the act, isn't necessarily being overtly racist. They're not calling me the N-word or anything like that. They may, you know, we're both walking in a building and they let the door close in my face.
Right.
That would be, because I am the minority, I truly know when racism is happening more than a white person would know when racism is happening. I would be able to say, you just participated or you just did a microaggression. And so the idea with it is that I know when racism is happening and I can call out that racism because I can see the finer points to racism as an ethnic minority. But you know, I wrote a blog. I don't know if you can put that blog in the chat, but I did a whole blog about microaggressions because to a certain degree, and I would say probably to a large degree, you have to assume that you know the motive of that person's heart. And this is my number one problem with microaggressions. It's that I can look at a white person and say, well, you let that door slam on me and you're a racist. You participated in microaggressions and you did that because of your implicit bias. You just don't even know it. Well, I don't know that person's heart. That person could, you know, have had a whole multitude of things on their mind, or they could have just been blanked out and not saw me coming. And so microaggressions really do present a problem, but I'm glad that you mentioned it.
And Monique, the way we disciple people through that is, you have to understand, as a Christian, you're not exempt from persecution. You're not exempt from suffering. And some of the microaggressions are legit. Some people are racist. I'm not giving anybody a pass. But the Bible teaches us how to receive persecution when someone insults us. The Bible teaches us how to respond in love and not to lose our cool, not to be extra sensitive over those kind of things. That's part of discipling ethnic minorities in this. We have to disciple them to be like Christ. And Christ wasn't out there being extra sensitive every time somebody says something foolish to him.
Yeah. And I think that you actually highlight a distinction in that, he wasn't out there being foolish when somebody said something to him. Mm-hmm. I think the issue that I take with microaggressions is that people don't have to say nothing.
Right.
And I definitely think that, racism is 100% real because people's hearts are evil. Yeah. But what we see in scripture is that, well, if your brother did something to you, go and talk to your brother.
Right.
We don't just now automatically accuse and condemn.
Right. Slander.
Based on just what your experience was. It's like, hey, did you see me coming through? Now, if they say, yeah, I saw you coming through and I don't like you because you white, or I don't like you because you black, so I let the door close on you. Okay, here we go. Now I have some proof. I have some evidence. But we have to go off of the evidence. I can't go off of she white, so she just let the door close on me. And all white people racist, so they just let all doors. But that's where we're at with a lot of these conversations.